Welcome back to my channel, everyone. This is Living to Learn. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope that you've been following along this series as we discuss men's mental health throughout the month of June. If you haven't, I would invite you to catch up with the last two videos I recorded. But again, thank you for taking the time out to watch today. Now, before I get started, I do want to mention a couple of things. If you'd like to get a hold of me directly, if you have any suggestions, if you have any constructive criticism to share with me, I can be reached at TikTok or on Instagram at Live to Learn Coaching. Have any questions you want to inquire, anything about myself, anything about me, at Live to Learn Coaching. The handle is the same for TikTok and Instagram. Both are in the description of this video. Now, with that being said, if you'd like to further your support beyond being a subscriber, which again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. There are 3 opportunities in the description of this video to donate financially to my channel. That really goes a long way as well. If that's not something you're able to do, believe me, I'm not holding it against anyone. But thank you for those of you who have already made that investment. I really appreciate it. And so as we get started and continuing this topic of discussion for the month of June, if you're not aware, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So this month I've dedicated my channel. Every single video that I'm recording in the month of June revolves around this topic of men's mental health. And there's a lot of things that come to mind when we think of men's mental health, when we think of mental health in general. Now, yesterday was Father's Day. So happy belated Father's Day to any fathers that are watching this. Shout out to my father, who is just an excellent role model, not only as a man, but as a father, and just someone that I look up to, someone that I'm very much appreciative of. And Dad, I know you're watching this. Thanks for everything. Really appreciate it. And all the dads that are watching this, happy Father's Day. And Father's Day is maybe that's why they chose June to be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I don't know. I do find it coincidental somewhat that kind of funny too. Not funny, but just wow. Like, we happen to be celebrating fathers in June, and we're also talking about having awareness, raising awareness for men's mental health. And if you think about it, right? And I don't know how old you are. You're watching this right now. I was born in the early '80s. So the dynamic, growing up, when you're a child and you're starting to develop these ideas of dad, right? And again, that's if you're fortunate enough to have a father in your home. And if you're even more fortunate to have a good father, right? Someone that was decent, somebody that was trying to do their best, right? And you have to remember, and this is something that, it's funny because it came to mind as I got older, but for some of us, we don't understand right away that dad only knew what he was shown from his dad, or maybe a lack of a dad presence in his life. And so when dad raised us, he was doing the best he could with what he had. Now, for some of you, that doesn't help. It doesn't help your father wounds. It doesn't help your perspective on father, what that means, what that word, what that carries with it. But they did their best, the ones that tried, And like I said, not everybody had a dad that tried. Not everyone had a father that was putting in that effort. But my father was present, always doing his best, always tried his hardest, always tried to make time for us, always tried to make us feel like we were important. And I take my cue from him. And I feel like I still have a lot of work to do to get to where, in my mind, where he's at. Because my dad's done so many things well. And again, I'm very fortunate to have that. I'm very fortunate to have that example. I've had other examples in my life as well. This brings it all back to why I do what I'm doing here. As a life coach, as someone who's recording this type of content and putting it out there. But talking about fathers, right? Talking about Father's Day and men's mental health awareness. One of the biggest things that I've seen throughout my life and even more now as an adult, as I'm grown, is this inability for us as men to share, to be open. Now, again, I want to give props to the church. I told you before, it's not a religious channel. I'm not concerned about your beliefs. All are welcome on this channel as long as you can take something from it, as long as it's helpful to you, you're welcome here. But I got to give credit to the church. I gave them credit last week concerning the topic of crying, right? Of men shedding tears and what that stigma looks like in society, where the church, I became accustomed to that. And again, I'll have to give credit where it's due. In the church, I've been a part of these, groups for men. It's a great resource. I've been a part of groups where you can go and men can be honest, men can share what's on their minds, what's on their heart. It's encouraged there. Right? There's some other things that I'm not crazy about, but that part right there, that's healthy, right? You hear about AA and NA. Those things it's healthy. You've got to be able to share things that are on your mind, on your heart, things that are weighing on you. We have to be able to unpack these things. We have to be able to set these things down. Some of us have secrets. We have just things that we're going to keep stored up inside of us. And some of these things we may take to the grave. Like I'm just not going to ever discuss it. It'll just never be spoken of. And I'm not here to say what you have to do. You're in charge of your life, just like I am. Right? We get to decide. If that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be. However, in my opinion, and in my experience, my own experience, being able to share vulnerably as a man, being able to set down that defense mechanism. And again, mine may not have been as intense as some of yours. Some of you were not treated right. Some of you were not shown a healthy relationship between a man and their child. Some of you were not given that. Some of your mental health challenges are a direct cause of how you were raised. So I'm speaking from my own experience. I don't expect anybody to be able to see things the way that I do. What I'm doing is I'm sharing with you things that have helped me. Things that have, in my opinion, have made my heroes successful. Is they gave me permission to open up. Some of us don't have that. But man, it's very important that we have some place, some outlet. And yes, it's great to go to the gym, to get physically active. That's an outlet. Doing something creative, artistic. I believe in a diversity of outlets, things that are good for us. But there's nothing like sharing words. There's nothing like attempting to put words to what you're feeling, to what you're struggling with, to what you're dealing with. And oftentimes we don't have the words to describe these things, but oftentimes we have never been put in a position where we had to come up with the words to describe these things. And this is something that's going to very much affect our health. It's going to affect our mental health, our stability, our mental stability. Do I understand what's going on? Do I understand what I'm hiding and why I'm hiding it? Do I know what this is? So having a group, having a gathering to belong to, it doesn't have to be in a church. Having a space where you can just share, where you can just open up, it's valuable. It's vital to our mental health, and that's something we need to seek out. If we have that with friends, if we have that with family, if you're fortunate enough to be in my position where I have a lot of different people in my life that I can share with, that I can open up with. And for that, I'm very grateful. But that's also something that I want to offer to you. That's also something that is a part of what I bring to the table as a life coach. Something that I've been told often throughout my life is how easy it is to talk to me. And hey, I want to utilize that gift. That's what I'm here for. That's part of why I record. That's part of why I put up this content. Because I know and understand the importance, how critical it is to be able to share, to be able to get these things off of our chest, out of our mind, out in front of us. It's like putting something on a table in front of you, right? Like a puzzle. And all right, now let's start to put the pieces together. Now we can see this. Now we put it in front of us. It's no longer in the back of my mind. It's no longer stuffed down deep inside where I don't have to deal with it. It's dealing with me, but I don't have to deal with it. No, we've taken it out. We've put it in front of us, and now we get a chance to kind of sift through it. And you'll never realize, you'll never be able to feel, you'll never be able to experience that relief until you have taken that step to let those things off your chest, to have a place where you can say what needs to be said. You can give your true opinion, your true feelings on it. You can be heard, and you can hear yourself. And now you can begin to compartmentalize and put these things in a healthy storage. Like, hey, this happened, but I can put it here. I don't have to put it deep down inside. It no longer has to be an open wound. It can be a scar. It happened. This is where I'm putting it at now. And now I get that relief on my mental health. My mind is relieved. My spirit is relieved. This is important for us, man. So keep that in mind. Think about that. Where do I have to share? What am I not talking about? What am I not saying that needs to be said? Meditate on that today. And I hope this has helped. And if you think this video will help anyone else, send it to them. Subscribe to this channel if you like what I'm sharing. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time.